Good afternoon, everyone. It's your beloved Jazz. It's your beloved West Ham Irons channel. Hope everyone is doing good and looking forward to tonight's Europa Conference League last 16 knockout clash against the Cyprian outfit, the leaders in Cyprus, AEK Larnaca. Lots of interesting stories from fans where the journey into Cyprus has been an absolute nightmare. There's people getting on 2-3 buses, even from the UK, missed trains, missed connection flights due to some planes just waiting 90 minutes before kind of taking off due to a lot of issues on the ground. But I think most of them who are going to go have got there. But listen, hats off to you guys. I don't think I'll be able to do that. I like to travel direct flight, good time, and that's it. I ain't getting up 3 in the morning, 3 at night, especially for the shit show that David Moyes is putting on, just being honest out there. But hats off to you guys who've got there one way or another. And I know even your journey is coming back. That's ain't the start, mate. I know there's stories that are going to come out when you're coming back. There's stories that you need your passport coming into the ground, but the hotels are keeping them. It's asking, and then people's tickets. Some people's tickets have gone to the wrong people, and then you've downloaded someone else's passport details. This no way is Jazz going to do any of that, mate. No way, mate. You must be joking. But anyway, like I said, just shows you how loyal the fans are, and the club don't really deserve you guys. But have a good, safe journey, whoever's travelling. And yeah, put on a show for you. At least we'll get one shot on target for you guys. Moyesy. Right, let's get serious anyway. Right. Really worrying news filtering through last 24, 48 hours, which won't be a surprise to a lot of you, is that there's a possibility that David Moyes could continue at West Ham into next season, irrespective of what division we're in, really. And then this story, when you look back, I've listened to a lot of different podcasts from fellow West Ham fans, some of them in the know, very knowledgeable, obviously West Ham fans for many, many years, so different media outlets, different sources, and apparently, and again, you might know this, but I thought I'd just start off with that kind of news and summary, really. It's around October is when I wanted David Moyes to be sacked. I could see the writing was on the wall where we were going with this. Nothing had changed the past year in the league. Same tactics, same formations, new signings. Nothing made a difference. Wasn't even using half of them in the right way, and it just wasn't happening. And I could see it. And there were a lot more managers available back then that other clubs have grabbed. You got the Unai Emery at Villa. Obviously, Brighton have changed managers. Southampton have changed managers. I think Leeds have as well. Poch and Tuchel. Very slim chance of getting them, but the biggest chance would have been in October. Give them, or even in the summer. I know it's a bit cheek and looking back on it now, but get rid of Moyes before the summer. Give the 200 million to Poch, and that's your one slim chance to get someone in there. And you would have stood a fair chance of getting him. He was out of contract, so easier negotiations, really. But they kind of hesitated, and the board was like, yeah, he's got enough brownie points in the bag, all that kind of thing. We ain't going to do nothing. We're going to stick with him. Very, very lazy board. Good boards like Brighton, Brentford, Southampton, they always know who the next manager's going to be due to due diligence, scouting, reports, sending people out there. Those are passionate boards that care about the club. Well, our owners just care about the money, and they know, dare I say, even if we go down, they're going to make a really good profit on West Ham. They don't really care, right? And a lot of the things tell you that. Very reactive, not proactive. Very old-fashioned club, the way it's run in the background. Nothing dynamic about it. No one really young, enterprising there. And again, stories I told you yesterday. The scouting manager's gone to Newcastle. Right shit show across the whole board. From players, academy players leaving, to non-investment in any facilities, to really good people leaving the club, even Stuart Pearce, Alan Irvine before that. Just not good, really. And yes, it was a lazy decision to just keep him there, because it would have cost too much money to pay him off in their eyes. Would have been too much effort to go and look for the right person with the right West Ham philosophy, how to play football, young dynamic coach out there. Do your research and get the boy in, and play a bit of risk if you want. That's what kind of life's about. Sometimes you got to risk it sometimes. But yeah, you've seen other clubs, like I was mentioning Frank, Denmark, Brentford, no one knew much about him. This Brighton manager, not much knew about him, all Potter before that. So all these new things, even Silver at Fulham, I know he flopped at Everton, but doing well for them. They kind of saw that, didn't do quite well in one or two jobs in the past, but he did well in equal amounts in other clubs, and then they thought, let's bring him back in. Might have learnt through that harsh experience, really. Lazy decision, October, November. And then as it went on into, I thought, the World Cup's coming, 1 month break. In history, you're never going to get this chance. Get the new manager in now. Got a whole month to work with the players, get his coaching team together, think about the transfer window coming up. But no, that would have meant, we've got to give him some money now, haven't we? Usually when you instruct a new manager, you've got to give him some key, otherwise they're not going to come. Again, they weren't going to do that, right? Wasted 180 million. Looks like a waste at the moment. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with David Moyes, a new manager, if he's going to get much more out of these new players or not. But that's why they didn't do it. Too lazy, no scouting system in place to look for the new manager, no due diligence. No one wants to do it. No one really cares about the club on the playing field, right? And they didn't want to pay Moyes off, didn't want to pay the new guy in, and didn't want to give the new guy any money, right? Easy. Carried on, wasted all of that World Cup month, and when we came back, nothing had changed. It got worse. He didn't do anything different or too upfront or more dynamic football. Nothing, right? Kept winning that Everton game, Forest game. Respect to both clubs. I think on those days, anyone would have beaten them. Everton there was news that Lampard had lost the dressing room anyway, leading up to that match, and anyone would have won on that day, and we did. Forest, struggling like anyone's business, first season back. So they're going to get done anyway, and they got done. And then comments from Karen Brady today. Absolute garbage, political statements, doesn't mean anything, sit on the fence. And she's basically saying, we've been really happy, two great seasons. And then she's like, hopefully we'll get back to winning ways. Hopefully we'll start to play better. Hopefully David Moyes will turn it around. What kind of message is that to fans? It's neither there or there. You can go and shut your fucking mouth. I don't even want to hear that crap from you. Just piss off with your £1 million bonuses you get. Yeah, she got 1 or 2 million for introducing Contensky finder's fee. Unable to find any meaningful sponsorship into the ground. Have a look at the company and the brands that look after our boxes. There's not many big companies out there. You got Canary Wharf around the corner, 2 stops away on the Crossrail. JP Morgan, Citibank, they all go and watch Tottenham or Arsenal. Unable to provide any meaningful corporate money. Look at Tottenham, £1 billion stadium. They're only paying interest on it, locked in at historical local rates. They're just going to keep rolling the interest forward, Spurs, at low levels. They're never going to pay the lump sum off, right? But in the meantime, they've created a money-making machine. Day and night difference between what I've heard hospitality over there and at West Ham. At West Ham, you get roly-polies. Over there, you got the cheese, you got the Indian butter chicken, you got the perfect beer that's kind of poured properly. West Ham, they pour the pints and put them on the trays 20 minutes before the fans are ready to have them, because they're unable to serve that quickly. They're such amateurs. £7-8 for a flat pint of beer. Can't do anything in and around the ground, nothing. And when I did that West Ham tour at this Olympic, I was shocked. It was nothing to see there. So the main, where the players come out of the tunnel, that is the only side of the ground where they've actually got executive boxes. That's the other 3 parts, there's nothing there. There's nothing to show. You can't go into those parts. Sometimes other grounds, certainly up to Park, you could have gone behind the goals, West Stand, East Stand. There's some rooms there and that kind of thing. There's nothing. The tour is just going through the dressing rooms, go onto the pitch, through one of the boxes or lounges. That's it. There's no trophy room. Well, there's nothing. No history room. There's nothing. absolutely nothing to show. It's one of the worst tours you can imagine, right? And no wonder they get giving it away to season ticket holders for about a tenner, I think it was. But I might go there again and film it just to show you, right? That it's absolutely rubbish. The club shop is just not big enough for the ground. Just think about it. I've been to Arsenal, United and Liverpool's. I've seen them outside, much bigger, but they got it free. That's fine for them. And going back to David Moyes still being here, they've come to a situation now, the board, where due to hesitation, no due diligence, being lazy, panic has set in now, because a lot of the managers, especially Deitch, you might not like him, you like him, it's up to you. I personally think that the man's got a bit more about him than David Moyes. He's obviously, I wouldn't have taken the Everton job. He's very brave. He got there with a day to go before the window opened, got no money to spend, got no striker fit up front. The players are playing for him. He's trying to make them solid and trying to go up front and score. It's difficult. But yeah, he's gone. Yeah, one or two of the others are gone, and what's happened now is they are looking for alternatives, but there's no one willing to take the job on a part-time basis, certainly to the end of the year. Rafa has told them to get lost. Rafa wants 3 years. Rafa said, I don't need to prove myself like David Moyes, right? So there's no manager out there, understandably, as late as mid-March, willing to come in just until the end of the season. So panic has set in at board. They haven't got anyone. That's partly the reason why David Moyes is still there. They haven't got anyone. They've left it too late. And it's a shit show. It is a shit show. And in the past, all the managers we've had, like I told you in my other programme, they were just there. There was no planning involved. They would sack the manager and then they would just look at who's available for free, like not attached to a club. They weren't looking like with a year to go. Usually, like, even if you have a manager doing great, around the corner is only 4 or 5 bad results, and usually other clubs, especially Chelsea, you're gone. So those clubs, I'm 110% sure, they've got a list of 3, 4 there ready. That keeps on changing. So they're ready to go. They have a plan. I remember when Spurs certainly sacked Poch and sacked Nuno. Their new manager was unveiled to the press within 48 hours because they'd done the due diligence. They knew who they wanted. And great looking ahead at Spurs and being proactive Spurs is they got rid of Nuno because Conte was available, right? And they thought, hang on a minute, that might not happen for a while because Man United were after him and it didn't quite happen, whatever. They got him in, and I thought, God, Conte ain't going to go there. But anyway, what's happening now is another story. But they tried it, and they did it. And it's all right for Karen Brady to say we don't sack managers. Listen, mate, if it ain't working, it ain't working. It is the most stupid thing to do is not to do anything or keep doing the same thing, which David Moyes is doing. That is that is just stupidity, being mad. So now they're panicking. And yeah, they used to just pick up any managers available. But the issue now is it's mid-March and they've gone to the old lazy. I told you to reach out to Rafa. I knew they're going to do it anyway because he's available. And he's not exactly a name we don't know about. He's past it. But they don't know any young and up-and-coming managers. They haven't done their research. They've got no backroom team to do it, right? And the Rafa's said no. 1 or 2 people have said no, right? And it is worrying. I do feel but that's my heart over my head, I suppose. I think we are going to stay up, right? If David stayed by winning, the odd game in 5 or 6 somehow. Unless it gets really bad and he totally loses it with the players and they don't win anymore. I don't know about that. But then they are going to stick with him again, I think. We'll see what happens, but I think if we go down, we might stick with him again. That's kind of the worry now, because I think it's 5 million to pay him off. But there isn't. But the bigger situation is about the ownership of the club. That is what's on Sullivan's mind, and it's complicating everything. It's kind of what's going to happen to David Gold's shares. People are thinking Sullivan's got the first option, so he'll grab them. Then there's stories that Sullivan does not want to sell his shares to Kotensky, even though there's a locked-in price, but it is up to Sullivan. It's an option. He's saying no. Now the girls of David Gold are saying, we ain't going anywhere. We're staying now. We're looking after our dad's sort of, Dad would have loved us to have carried on in his name and his legacy. So now we're hearing those stories. So that's not what West Ham fans want to hear. I think West Ham want the current owners to completely go and say thank you, no thank you, and just go and leave us alone and let's try with someone else. So I think that West Ham bad luck. The fate, it's just going to carry on, right? It's just unbelievable what happens as this club. I mean, the Geordies used to think they were the ones who got it the hardest. I don't think so, mate. Look at the great times she had under sort of Kenny Dalglish, Kevin Keegan teams, nearly won the league. You in Europe, had Shearer, Owen, and now you're certainly gonna do well in up and coming. Bloody Saudi Arabia own you. The rich oil state. You're gonna go places, mate. We're still stuck there. So the worry at the moment is that the board think they're stuck because they've hesitated, being lazy. And it's probably Sullivan dominating those board decisions. Like I told you, I think he's got more votes than anyone. Out those 10, 11 are highlighted who's on the board. You got him. You've got the CFO who he appointed. You got these two boys. There's 4 of them. And I think whatever happens, I think even Gold's daughters are probably don't want to upset Sullivan at this stage. And you got Gold's son-in-law in there who is a West Ham fan. That's 7 of them. Kotensky's only got 2 there. Then you got that Trip Smith, haven't you, like I was mentioning. So I think the power is with Sullivan, stroke Golds. And they probably think alike. I wouldn't imagine the Golds daughters going against Sullivan at this stage. They've just come into the picture recently. So this is where we are, gentlemen. West Ham stuck with David Moyes. We are at the moment, due to no manager wants the job, due to how late it is, where we are, uncertainty of the future ownership of the club, and also the reputation of working with Sullivan. It's not good. No one wants to work with him. A lot of the clubs that actually don't even want to do any transfer to West Ham, the way he's dealt with some of them by keep on making really under the table sort of bids that kind of upset the other clubs. If they want 10 million, why would you bid 2 and 3? Or if they want 20, why you start bidding at 9? It kind of annoys clubs, and they don't want to do business with you, wasting their time. And the only thing I can think of, if it really, really goes bad, I think it'd be Nolan as caretaker manager. That's the only thing I can think of, because he's in-house, it's easy, it's cheap. That's the only thing I can think. I can't think any young dynamic manager coming in this late that you're going to pull out of another club, because they obviously don't want to upset the club they're with, because you're fighting for relegation, promotion, trophies. You don't want to do that. So that's where we are. Some people have mentioned Frank Lampard. He's out of a job, but it's all about whoever comes in. They want 3-4 year contract, right? They don't want none of this. We'll help you out till the end of the summer for £1 million bonus, and then you don't know where your future is. So that's where we are at the moment. It is a very worrying situation, because the board, like I mentioned on my other show, are just not capable of running a successful, modern, forward-looking, proactive, efficient club. We are all those words, the opposite: inefficient, reactive, no ambition, no energy or drive in that board. No West Ham people in that board in terms of history. They know about West Ham DNA, nothing. We've hardly got any scouts out there still. I think it's still not good enough. Backroom team is poor. Facilities are poor, like I said. There's no new players coming through. Some of the players have been treated like crap. One way of playing. Players have had enough as well. We just go game by game. But I thought I'd do this show, and there is a possibility that we are stuck with him, and the board are beginning to panic because, they've left it too late, and they're struggling to get someone in, certainly on a short-term basis. So we'll see what they're thinking. If we lose to Villa, which I think is highly likely, I think Villa winning is highly the most probable result for me, followed by perhaps a draw, and least For me, doable is West Ham winning, really. But the key thing will be when if we don't beat Villa, don't get a good result, I think the fans are going to turn against the board on that particular game, and then they usually do something. But as we stand at the moment, there isn't any exciting name lined up to help salvage West Ham and kick on for the next 2-3 years, I'm afraid. So put your comments in the box. I will reply to them within days, hopefully. But I will be doing a show later on after the full-time whistle with R.E.K. Larnaca, where I'm hoping Scamacca will get a start and he's able to play full 90 minutes, hopefully with someone next to him. But it's probably him up front by himself. Uncle Cressy, Grandad Cressy's going to be left back. The mentally scarred Johnson will be at right back. Oggy at the back. How exciting is that? And I think Downs is coming in next to Rice, really. So, yeah, let's see what that game brings. It'll be interesting. Next 2 games, we'll find out a bit more. We'll find out a bit more where we're going with David Moyes anyway. But thank you for watching. And take care, and we'll catch up later on. Thanks a lot.